Friends, I have a little thing to share about the idea of being comfortable in your clothes, specifically around things that have a waistband. So, this is super common for neurodivergent or highly sensitive people to have discomfort, sensory discomfort around clothes, anything that's tight. For me, it's socks and waistband in particular. And I did a couple of years ago decide like I was not going to wear anything that didn't have a stretchy waistband. But often, even if you buy, like, depending on your body, um, a larger size of waistband, they can still be a little sensory, like painful, difficult, uncomfortable for you. And you may remember that I like to call it sensory pain rather than sensory sensitivity because in my upbringing, I was told a lot like stop being so sensitive. So sensitive has a like invalidating connotation to me. So I experience sensory pain with a waistband that is too tight. And so what I do is this one has a stretchy waistband, not, you know, that is sewn in to the actual seam. Not all of them do. Some of them have it like separated from, but a lot of them do have it sewn in. So what you're going to do is you're going to, if you're oh, where's my, left it in the other room. If you're a sewing person, you can use a seam ripper, but if you're not, you can just use regular scissors and you're just going to cut out the seam. And I know it's scary, but I'm going to show you how to hand sew it. Let me just pause this and go get my seam ripper. Okay, this is what's called a seam ripper, and you could get it at pretty much, any store, Amazon, Walmart, Target. It usually comes with this little cover because it's quite sharp, and you just flip it around and hold it like that. And basically, it has a sharp part right here, and you put that into where the clothes are sewn together, and you just stick it into the, not the fabric, but the thread and you pull it and it cuts the thread. Okay, so you're just going to go along and cut a piece of that. Now, like I said, some seams are like it's sewn to the elastic. So that's going to be more work. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the elastic and we're going to add an extra piece of elastic so that it's more comfortable for you. And you're going to want to play around and see if you're a person who likes an elastic waist better or if you like a drawstring waist. I'm picky on the day. Sometimes I like one and not the other. For the most part, as long as it can be loose, it's great. The nice thing about a uh, drawstring is that it can be adjustable so that if your waist is bigger or smaller, sort like most of ours are, um, between day to day, then that's really helpful. I think, a lot of cultures' original clothing customs were such that they are like super adjustable. And I think that's one of the things that makes it's like a reinforcer of fat phobia and the idea that your body shouldn't change over time is the way that our clothes are tailored to be such that if your body does change, then you have to buy new clothes, which then becomes financially challenging and pushes up against this cultural idea that your clothes should not, that your body should not change over time. So, I like to give myself clothes that have a lot of room in them. And I have learned, this very simple sewing skills so that I can make clothes bigger or smaller as needed. But I do like things with a lot of fabric and a drawstring. And if you are a person who wants to do a drawstring, you can take all this elastic out. So you've just been ripping along and you're starting to see that elastic inside. And as we cut through the threads, we're going to get a chunk of elastic, okay? And as I separate it from the material, I'm going to be able to cut through that elastic, and then I've got some decisions. So you're going to find the place where it feels best for you. And for some people, that may mean just choosing one little spot. This is the easiest fix, right? And just cutting through that elastic right there. And that's going to give you, what did it give me? That gave me an extra inch or so, which if I, just want an inch or two more, I can go and do that, one or two more times. And that may be enough for me. And then I can go through with just a straight up and down stitch and get my needle and thread. Here's one. I can go through, tie a knot at the end of your thread, get a basic needle, go through and do a very simple push your needle through, pull it all the way to the knot, push it down, and you're just going to go in and out like this. Little stitches in, which I had my other camera set up, in and out, super basic stitches. And that's going to just seal that edge there for you. And because, especially if it has this serger edge type one that's like a bunch of thread back and forth, that's not going to unravel. You don't need to worry about that. You're just going to seal up your seam there. Now, if you wanted to, you could completely take out all of these stitches, completely take out the elastic. You could replace it with new elastic. You can buy, this is a 1/2 inch knit elastic. You can buy something like this for probably less than $5 at, again, like a Walmart or a fabric store if you can find one. There's so many have gone out of business. And then with this, you're just gonna, you know, measure around where you want it to be, right? And then cut it, sew the edges together, and then re-sew that fabric back. Or you could put in a drawstring, and your drawstring, you can use shoelaces. You can use some, I have a bunch of drawstrings around from various sweatshirts of my kid and I that have fallen out. You can use those. You can use an old piece of fabric that you've, folded up and then sewn along one side. That's how they do it in a lot of clothes, um, the pajama pants from India. Um, you can also just open it all up, cut one place, and then put um, an extra bit of elastic in as an extender. If that bothers you to have the break in the elastic, which for some people it might. Um, Point being is it may seem like a small thing, um, to have that sensory sensation of the waistband feeling too tight. However, it is so worth eliminating that sensory pain because, and that spoon theory, which if you don't know, go look it up. Spoon theory is created by disability justice folks and just like is such an excellent way of thinking about nervous system capacity. If you are spending some of your nervous system capacity on dealing with the sensory pain around your waistband, then you're using that for something, that is maybe not necessary. And you might, if you eliminate it by making your waistband more comfortable, then you can use it for something that you really care about, like being present in your relationships that are meaningful to you. Right. So if I do everything I possibly can to make myself super duper physically comfortable during my sessions, then I can be extra present for my clients. If I'm wearing clothes that are uncomfortable, I'm too hot or too cold, I have not eaten, or I'm overtired, or, I haven't taken my meds, or I don't have my chapstick, my fidget, my favorite drinks, right? If I don't have all of that, then I have less capacity to offer to my clients. And that's something that I super duper care about, right? So let's say you really care about showing up with like all of the gentleness towards your children, or you really care about showing up with all of the intention and awareness and curiosity for your spiritual practice, right? If we are not taking care of, like, really good care of our physical self and we're using nervous system resources, it's kind of like if I really value saving money and then I just buy like a $10 burrito every morning instead of making one for $1, right? Like it doesn't match my values. So when we do something that may seem silly, like making sure that our waistband is not too tight, we're giving ourselves back resources that we can invest with intention. So I really think about my nervous system resources as like, what am I investing in? If I'm investing in, that's why I wear a hat every day, because if there's ever an overhead light, I don't have to use the resources to be like, I live with my kid. Sometimes he'll turn a light on, and that 1 second of being like, with the light, that uses my resources. And that's not what I want to use my resources on. I don't want to use it on overhead lights. I don't want to use it on a tight waistband. I don't want to use it on, um, wearing socks that squeeze my feet. So I just cut the top of the socks off, right? So many things. So it may seem like a small thing. And a lot of us don't want to spend extra money. That's why I like to learn these simple, like sewing skills, right? Because if you can make your existing clothes more comfortable, then that can be helpful on so many levels, because a lot of us are like scared to spend more money on clothes. And if you really don't have, you can't expand the clothes, or you can't, you can mostly make every kind of clothes smaller if you need that. But if you're kind of at your limit and you do need bigger clothes, I super recommend like a thrift store. You can actually find nice stuff in thrift stores. And if you go on the days when there's like sales on those certain items, like on Wednesdays, it's pants are on sale for $2, so you can get a new pair of pants for $2, and you can intentionally buy them bigger than you need so that you're giving yourself that space to fluctuate. Okay, anything else? I think that was it. So yeah, lots of options for making a waistband more comfortable. And let me know if you have any thoughts or questions in the comments.